Welcome to Before the Bat, the Gotham podcast, your source for the TV show Gotham and everything Batman. I am one of your co-hosts, Phil Parrish, and with me is Kelly.
Hey!
And Tyler.
Hey.
Cool.
It's good to be back.
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah. Well, Tyler's back.
Yeah, it was kind of sad missing last week. I had some things to do, but we got to listen to Rob fill in, and he did a good job.
Yeah, one of these weeks we have to do all four of us.
I'm going to throw this out here right now. Phil, don't ever change the way you say Gotham. They're picking on you, but you stand by your guns and you just do it.
Oh, I know. I heard it all week. Even my mom listens to this, and like Sunday we went over to
Hi, Phil's mom.
we went over for dinner, and she's like, Gotham.
Like I said, if you get me in the South one week, if I'm down there and we do a podcast, you'll hear me turn my wang on. It takes about 5 minutes, so I won't go there.
Whoa! This is a family show.
I think you meant twang.
Oh well, all y'all.
Freudian slip.
That's right.
All right. Before we get an explicit rating, let's get into this week's episode, Arkham. Any first thoughts? Anything pop out?
First thoughts was I loved seeing the Arkham set. Just that gate that said Arkham made me very happy.
Gave me goosebumps.
The irony that Bruce is talking about saving people for Arkham, and yet he's going to put most of the people in there.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny.
Well, that's how he's going to save them.
He's like, I'm going to fix the asylum. Well, he's going to do something for it.
That and our villain guy, his little device, I couldn't figure out, were we going for the steampunk Piper or what?
Yeah, I was like, who is he? Because Tyler, I don't think he's anyone from the comic books. He didn't seem familiar.
I don't either.
Yeah, he must be.
I threw it on Twitter to see if anyone else could find anything, and it didn't seem like anything came up.
Because did they actually even mention his real name? Because I know they said he took that one guy's identity, but I never thought they actually even went into any other name for him.
I don't think they did. I mean, the thing about this show is I'm hoping that they can keep away from me just having to use Batman villains and just really kind of create some of their own people.
Well, I think they already started. I mean, between Fish Mooney and now we have this guy and
the Balloon Man.
Balloon Man, yes. And I'm like, who was that? A councilman? He cornered in the parking garage or whatever.
Yes.
It's like, it's Gotham After Dark. Why would you take anything from someone and put it next to your eye?
And just, last week, all these guys are winding up in the sky, and yeah, I don't think I'd be looking at anything anybody came up saying, hey, you gotta see this.
Yeah, especially if I'm in city government. I don't think I'm really going to be trustful of a lot of people right now.
Well, I mean, one thing, he thought he was protected, because, I can't remember. Each council person had a different mob boss on their back, so I can't remember who had who. But...
Yeah, well, I think everyone's starting to learn the mob isn't as well protected as they used to be.
No, because there's people who are after them, like Balloon Man.
And people seems like they're setting up a gang war like Cobblepot.
Oh my gosh, let's talk about Cobblepot for a minute. Let's just talk how he is smart. That's why I'm watching the episode, and I'm like, man, he hasn't killed anybody. I hope he does, so I can start using the phrase, he got cobblepotted. And that is going to be my catchphrase.
Wouldn't that be cobblepooted?
No, he's trying to get famous. He's changing his name.
Yeah.
True.
He got cobblepotted. Just like the guys at the end of the episode.
Don't eat the cannoli.
They got cobblepotted. Bam.
Oh, man. But
I will admit, didn't see that coming, though. Did not see that coming.
I think that's one of the first real glances we've caught of, like, the actual Penguin in him.
The
Revenge of the Nerd.
Yeah. He's really willing to take that extra step and make things happen for himself. Mm-hmm. Like, he put himself, in the right place at the right time.
He's an
in
opportunist.
that restaurant. Exactly, but he creates his opportunity by having them killed off.
And once again, trust issues in Gotham. If you just pulled off a big score for this guy against the mob, would you eat anything he brought you?
No, but I don't think they were the smartest people.
Well, no, probably not.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe they didn't know his I take it they thought that he just wanted to rob him too.
Yeah.
So he wanted to rob his place of work. But man, the beginning, I got thinking like how the beginning when it just starts right where the last episode ended with Cobblepot there at Gordon's apartment, and I'm sitting there thinking like, you know what? It would be very interesting for this show is if maybe for a while Cobblepot and Gordon work together, and the idea is you have Gordon trying to put the criminals away, and Cobblepot is helping him put some of them away while he builds his empire in the background.
Yeah.
And kills the rest.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So basically, he's getting rid of the competition using Gordon while building his empire.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think he's using Gordon as a tool, just like he's used those guys, and he's playing Falcone and Maroni off each other.
So now I have a question. So Barbara still, last I knew, she thought that Jim killed Cobblepot.
Mm-hmm.
Has she figured out that the guy that showed up at their door is Cobblepot?
No, because when he showed up, didn't he say he gave a different name for him? He didn't call him Cobblepot.
Yeah.
I forgot. He said something like, this is about work, and he or was it Gordon or was it Cobblepot? One of them used a different name, but yeah, he didn't say he was Cobblepot.
Yeah, because also Gordon's still thinking he's trying to protect him and keep him, from getting killed by the mob because he told him not to show up again,
Well, yeah, Gordon's protecting Cobblepot and himself because he realizes if they find out Cobblepot's alive, he's getting...
Right. So, but it's interesting because, Barbara doesn't trust him because, she doesn't know what happened to Cobblepot when she's met him.
Hey, at least in this episode, Barbara left the apartment.
Yay, Barbara! Little steps, girl, little steps.
I was starting to wonder if maybe she was just a figment of Gordon's imagination.
Maybe she's just really depressed.
Oh, you mean like Fight Club? She's a figment of his imagination.
Yeah. I don't know. Her character needs to do something. I feel like she's just kind of there because I need somebody there.
She's eye candy.
Oh, yes, the Rob Southgate theory. She's eye candy.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with him. I mean, she's not doing a whole lot. I think she just needs to get pregnant, give birth, and then she gets killed off.
Or they got divorced in the comics, so, I mean, she could...
Yeah, but we all know how different this is in the comics. We can just throw those out the window.
Yeah. She just...
Well, technically... Who knows? They could do lots with her. I mean, she could be an interesting foil if they'll let her do anything.
Exactly. I just think they need to move some characters that haven't had any attention.
She's kind of like Laurel in Arrow. I hated how they wrote Laurel I couldn't identify with her for almost 2 seasons. Couldn't stand her. And then they finally started changing her, and she got better. So I hope they do that.
Yeah, she was an interesting character. She was completely different in each season.
Yeah.
So, I can see that, but right now, I mean, Barbara's character's just been kind of very bland. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people they haven't given a lot of time to, like her, Eddie Nigma could use some more time.
He could. I think he's like the surprise right now, where it's like,
yeah.
Will he show up? Won't he show up? And then when he does, you relish that moment.
Well, yeah. I saw something on social media. They were saying, I guess, I don't know if they're going to do, like, big storylines each season with a villain, and I guess this season's Cobblepot's season, so it's like, who's going to be next season?
Yeah.
That could be interesting if they took that kind of approach.
Yeah. And speaking of seasons, they picked it up for a full season.
Yes. Got the full order.
I'm very interested to see what they do.
Yeah.
I feel like the show's surviving. At the same time, I don't have a clear sense of how to fill out the show. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think at the beginning one of the things I think they've kind of done that while it's neat for all the Easter eggs, I think it makes it hard for people is they've introduced so many characters. If you're not familiar with the comic books, you're kind of like scratching your heads. It's kind of like Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
There's 50 million characters, and remembering who everybody is and how they're interrelated, you about got to have a flowchart.
Game of Gotham.
And now,
exactly.
Yeah. Well, now maybe since they picked up the full season, the 22 episodes, then maybe they can like slow down a little. Maybe give some of the characters more time. Introduce people slower.
We need more development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Selena Cow. I mean, come on.
I would really like to see an episode that has more focus on Alfred and Bruce.
Yes.
Just because I feel like Alfred could be a really unique character, but he just gets these just little shot segments where he gets maybe like a line or two of dialogue, and he's gone.
They whisk him away in the TARDIS.
I don't know what to think of him. That's my problem, is I don't know what to think of the character of Alfred and the way they're portraying him because he's never around enough to really feel out the character.
Yeah, but now that they have more episodes, I think they'll have more time to give everyone more screen time, hopefully.
Yeah, more fleshing out of the characters and their individual character of them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the show was supposed to be was Gordon-centric, but I feel like it's more becoming an ensemble where Gordon's not the main character, he's one of the characters.
Yeah, I think they underestimated how some of these characters were going to catch on, like Cobblepot.
I'm at the point, though, with each episode, I'm becoming less and less of a Fish Mooney fan.
Yay!
Let's jump into the Fish Mooney scenes this week.
The fish food?
Nice little the weekly segment, the fish food.
All right, let's throw some fish food in the aquarium here. All right, was anyone else creeped out this week, or was it just me?
It was me.
No, yeah, totally go. Yeah.
Are you into boys or girls?
Like, I understood because she's trying to make a weapon to use for her advantage, but it's just the whole way it was done. I don't know. I was just like, yeah, just not feeling it. I can't. Her character, I don't feel I'm connecting with. I feel like her character maybe would have survived in a Schumacher film, but I'm not gelling.
I mean, I can get the whole weapon part, so I mean, I could see the girls fighting at the end, but I mean, what's up with the whole? Did
anyone else think we're gonna have tryouts? As soon as she did that scene, that's all I thought of was like aggressive expansion
from the Dark Knight. Yeah,
exactly. That's all I could think, and I'm laughing to myself the whole time.
Tyler, you're not throwing out the controversial theory that Fish Mooney is the Joker, are you?
God, please no. please don't let anyone say that.
You heard it. You heard it here first, folks. Tyler Patrick thinks Fish Mooney will become the Joker.
Oh no, I'm gonna get some hate tweets now. My phone's gonna blow up.
I think he means she is a joke, not she's gonna be the Joker.
Oh, thanks, Kelly. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, she just totally. Well, I've not been a huge Fish Mooney fan from the start. You guys know that, but it's just creepy. I mean, I get it, but
yeah. Like, I was willing to give her a chance for the show, because I'm like, the way what they're doing Gotham, some new characters to kind of fill out some backstory of just things that have happened. Mm-hmm. But she is not a character I'm liking.
She's just too cliche for me.
I'm kind of just, I don't know, maybe if Oswald had stayed more of her sidekick, and that gave her more, reason for being there, but as of right now, I'm pretty much fished out.
Oh, another, instead of cobblepotted, now you're fished out also?
Yep. She needs to get cobblepotted.
I'm thinking maybe by the end of the season.
I mean, there has to be some sort of plan behind the name. I mean, the idea her name is Fish, and he is Penguin, and if a penguin destroys a fish, there has to be a reasoning behind
there'll be
the names.
There'll be a line,
Yeah.
And we'll be like, oh, should have saw it coming.
She'll end up being sushi.
Cobblepot will be like, you know what a penguin eats? Fish. And then he stabs her and says, you got cobblepotted.
And dumps her in the river.
And dumps her in the river.
And then the shark eats her.
I was going to say, that way she can sleep with all the other fishies.
What she seems to be trying to be doing.
Yes. Very hard. She's trying to tick off people.
Oh my gosh.
I'm in sleep with the fishes, but okay.
Well, no, I mean, she's been trying to tick off people, so she's gonna sleep with the fishes. You can make enough people mad, somebody's gonna kill you.
Oh, well, I don't know about trying to tick people off. I mean, she kisses Falcone's butt, to his face, but then...
That's just lip service. He knows
He knows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're both waiting to see who makes the first move.
Oswald.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if he's smart, he already has Maroni thinking that Falcone made a play on him.
Yeah.
If he can get to where Falcone thinks that Fish is making a play on him, I mean,
he gets Gordon to trust him.
Exactly.
That's kind of creepy thought.
Yeah, I don't think Gordon's gonna ever completely trust him, but
I agree.
I don't completely know, but an uneasy alliance.
Yeah, but
because I don't think Gordon recognizes how in over his head he really is.
I think he's coming to realize it.
Let's talk about Bullock this episode. Not much happened. He was very in the background this episode. I don't even remember a good Bullock moment.
Well, the one funny thing I can think of is when they're at Arkham and he calls Eddie Nigma a dumbass.
Oops.
Yeah, and didn't he shoot the one dude really fast a lot? Like he pulled him. Oh, I'm trying to remember.
Oh, what, at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's quick draw Bullock.
When they were saving the mayor.
Oh, can we just talk about how the dude got lit on fire in a firing barrel at Arkham?
Oh, yeah.
Straight up, with gasoline. I was like, wow, that's really intense.
Only at Arkham.
Or on NCIS. At least it wasn't a meat puzzle, I mean.
They did that scene, and I was like, it's like frying councilmen in a barrel.
Yes.
Oh.
And my wife just looks at me like, did you really just say that?
That's how Cobblepot will probably do it with fish.
Oh, fish fry?
No, it's like shooting fish in a barrel.
He's actually going to put her in a barrel and shoot her?
Yeah, in water. Start to drown her and then shoot her.
Yins are oversimplifying this. I mean, overcomplicating this. All Cobblepot has to do is pay off some girl or some guy to get close to Fish Mooney and
become her weapon and then kill her.
Drop her guard, yeah.
That's too simple. We want to see him shoot fish in a barrel.
She's stuck in a barrel, can't move. Okay, if you can walk away, I won't shoot you.
Hey, you're walking. Do you know when you're in a barrel and you try to walk, you walk like a penguin?
You're flopping like a fish.
When she shakes hands, she gives everyone the dead fish.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have not been drinking tonight.
Absolutely not.
Not at all. Not at all. Completely sober.
Okay, let's.
I'm just happy.
Okay, so what else has happened? What do you think? What do you think about Gordon and Barbara at the end? She's like, you don't. She's like, you don't trust me. It's like, well, why should he?
I feel like we haven't got to really feel their relationship out. Like, this is something that could have happened later on in the series. And maybe, I think the problem is they had an idea for the show with certain stories and scripts planned, but then it got extended. So maybe they had some ideas for some character arcs that they could have extended, but now they can't. Because I feel like we haven't got to know Gordon and Barbara.
Yeah, I think it's just the opposite. I think they were trying to rush it because they thought they only had a certain amount of episodes. And now that they extended it, they might slow everything down,
That's what I mean.
Take their time, yeah.
They had originally, 12 episodes, then 16, and now it's 22?
Yeah, something.
It was something like that, so...
Yeah,
I feel like
they added
we're gonna
9.
trust Barbara. I don't even feel like we, as the audience, we trust Barbara. Like, we don't care. Like, we haven't connected with her, so we really don't feel anything for her or for that relationship at the moment.
Yeah, except that she needs to have Batgirl.
Yeah, exactly. She just needs to pop out a couple of kids so we can do James Jr. and have James Jr. the psychopath running around, and then Barbara.
Yeah, these two people have to have a couple of redheaded babies.
And you know what? I would be fine with making them twins, just to speed it up. They can change it. James and Barbara are twins. I don't care.
Hey, how about the scene with Alfred and young Bruce when Bruce has his nightmare?
That was cool. I like that he said, was I in it?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I don't know what to think about this Alfred, because I haven't really got enough time to get to know this Alfred, but I really would like to see him developed.
Yeah.
I'd like to see where they take this Alfred.
Yeah, we need an episode centered around those two.
Yeah, I mean, as I kind of see him, at least from the parenting side. The first episode or two, he was, really kind of freaked out. Here he has all this responsibility for this kid. While he's been, part of the, quote-unquote, a part of the family, he's not had the responsibility of a child. He has not been the primary caretaker of Bruce, and so he's gotten thrown into this, and he's in over his head. He has all this training, and he knows, what he needs to do, but he is overwhelmed with it. And I see him here, he's kind of being a smart aleck. He's trying to tease Bruce and make him feel better about his nightmare,
Yes.
not babying him and coddling him, but yet trying to identify with him and let him know, hey, I'm glad you're alright.
You're right. Like, I think it would be neat since they have these extra episodes, and if they shift the show to more of an ensemble type feel, if maybe they did an episode that had some flashbacks to how Alfred and Bruce were handling things right after the murder. Like, even, maybe a flashback episode that was all about Alfred,
Yeah.
We see him with the Waynes. We see the Waynes and Bruce and Alfred interact on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That would be awesome.
Let's do some fun, let's do a flashback scene where we see maybe the Waynes having a meeting about the whole Arkham thing, and they're confronted by representatives of Falcone and Maroni.
Yeah,
and how they stood up to that.
That could be a good episode, like for the Bruce and Alfred episode, where you see flashbacks of their relationship before the Wayne murders, and then you could go back to the present and show their relationship after the murders.
How it's changing, how Bruce has to learn to respect Alfred on a different level, and how Alfred now is not just the butler but the guardian.
Yeah, he's not the servant. He's become his basically his father figure.
Yeah.
And I said this to Phil the other day. I made a comment and that the Batman story in general is a story of surrogate fathers.
Right.
You have Alfred to Bruce, Bruce to Dick, and then Tim, but even Dick to Damian, because Bruce in the comics, died, traveled through time, whatever. And then when Damian officially became Robin was under Dick, and even then it was a fatherly mentor figure.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
So I just think that's something they can really kind of play up for some interesting is how... Because every time you see Alfred and Bruce, they seem like they're perfect, they're cool. Why isn't Bruce lashing out? What's the story with Alfred? Has he always been there? Because in some comics, Alfred's father was there when Bruce was first born and he was young, and then Alfred took over a little later.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bruce has started to lash out. I mean, he's doing it very passive-aggressively. Look at his drawing that he did, burning his hand. The reason I think that Alfred started sword fighting with him was he could see that Bruce was internally struggling with something, and he needed to do something physical to work it out, to get rid of the tension. And so he broke the tension to do that, you know what I'm saying? To get him to do something physical to release that. And, and then here we've got the nightmare, he's not okay. It's obvious that Bruce is not okay. But there are a lot of people that are that way, that they hold it in. They don't do anything overtly obvious to rebel, but they're passive aggressive. And they will do these things kind of on the side.
Yeah, well, you could say he's never really normal because, even years down the road, how does he deal with his grief? He puts on his suit and beats the crap out of criminals, yeah.
Right.
Punches evil in the face.
But, you know what I'm saying? It's not that it's a la, let's hold hands and walk through the park kind of relationship. There's definitely issues here. But I think it's interesting how Alfred is, while he's battling with, I have to I have to withhold to the Wayne's wishes on how they want their son raised, but I also see my responsibility to Bruce. And how do I, because I can't, they don't want me going to an outside person, how can I bridge that gap? How can I help him?
I agree with you. Did anyone else have any thoughts, like when they were sword fighting? I just kind of remind me of, in the animated series, when Bruce first took Dick in when he was a little kid, how they were sparring and sword fighting. They were fencing together.
Oh, I sort of thought of that, but I didn't. But now that you say that, yes.
Well, fencing is one of the best ways to learn strategy. And, of course, Bruce becomes a great strategic person. He's thinking 50 steps ahead, all the time.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to be sitting there playing chess.
Yes.
Yes. Where is that at? Where's the chess game to where, Alfred beats Bruce. Bruce gets mad, and then,
tosses
you
it.
see, then you see them play later, and Bruce beats Alfred.
Right.
The idea, that he is learning. I mean, I like the fact that they're showing the development with him just being interested in the case files,
yes.
The police, the idea. So
he's going to start his own murder board. He's going to start his own murder board on the back of a closet door or something. And Alfred's going to find it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a room that they don't even know they have, that Alfred might not even realize is there, that he could just have a murder room. It's just wall-to-wall murder board. He's got a house. He doesn't need a back of a door. He's got a whole mansion.
Yeah, what's that mansion? I swear, I think they've said before it's 40 rooms or something.
15 bathrooms.
That scene in Batman where he's like, and Vicky Vale's like, you eating here a lot? And he's like, actually, I don't think I've ever been in this room.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And we need a scene of him outside one day, and he discovers the cave.
My idea, I got thinking, I wonder if they'll do something where you see Bruce and Alfred decide to go and travel abroad for a while. They just leave or something to where they're gone. That'll happen later on in the season. I don't know, something.
Maybe season 2.
Yeah, I think that'd be good for season 2.
Or maybe
they go to travel.
Maybe
Gordon.
Yeah, maybe Bruce says, "Oh, I just need a vacation," but meanwhile he wants to go and learn something from someone.
Well, he needs to be groomed and cultured. He's going to need to learn foreign language. He's going to need to learn foreign cultures. He's going to need to learn foreign fighting styles. There's a lot for him to learn.
Yeah, fighting skills, detective skills.
Yeah.
And I always liked the idea that, Bruce being as rich, he didn't go to regular school. He just got privately tutored after his parents died. And part of that was he had a regular school tutor, but then he traveled and found the best of the best to teach him.
Right.
Yeah, I remember one Batman story. They were part of it was a flashback, and they showed him in school, and Alfred had to go in and see one of the teachers, and the teacher's telling Alfred, he has genius level retention in some subjects, the ones he's interested in, but everything else, so he pays absolutely no attention to everything he's not interested in.
I like that. But what wouldn't he be interested in?
It was
science.
Yeah, science.
Math.
Yeah, chemistry.
Physics.
See, he would be interested in all that stuff.
Yeah, that's the stuff he's interested in, But if
social studies, maybe.
He knows its history because we know he's obsessed with the city.
Yeah, but maybe any Well, I don't know.
And he's well read.
Tweet in to us.
Homac.
At what Batman would not want to study? What Bruce Wayne would not want to study in school? Tweet us in.
You would assume too, being a man of culture, that he also studied music. Yes. Obviously, he's well read.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He appreciates the arts. That doesn't necessarily mean he's a great artist, but he appreciates the arts.
I always had the idea, I'd love to see Bruce where he starts studying with, people who are, amazing actors, and the idea that he starts taking acting lessons to create the Bruce Wayne character. He has to learn how to be Bruce Wayne. So he starts studying with under, theater actors.
Yes.
Not to be Batman, because he's created that himself.
Yeah, he's already
but to be
Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Maybe
Very true.
I was like, that would be something Like I always thought would make a really good story.
Like, like some actor, Basil Carlo or Matt Hagen.
Oh, Phil.
Clay
There you
faces.
That would be. You know who I think would be really neat you could put in an episode of Gotham, and Bruce and Alfred could go, and it would just be fanfare, but yet also help, is Zatara.
Yeah.
God likes Zatara.
Like in the animated series, yeah, didn't he teach him how to be an escape artist and stuff?
And it would be really neat, because, I mean, he has a show in the city, Bruce goes, just, doesn't have to be a whole lot, but just kind of one of those,
Gets
Bruce
him the bug.
Yeah, he gets the idea. He wants to learn how to be an escape artist. He wants to learn, like, I want to see some obsessive compulsive Bruce. Like, he becomes obsessed. I want to learn everything.
How much you want to bet Gordon teaches him how to pick cuffs?
Or Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
She already knows how.
I'll tell you one scene I want to see in this series. And it's one of the biggest scenes to me as a Batman fan. That is one problem I have with the Nolan films, is I want to see the candlelight boy sitting there making his vow and starting his mission.
Yeah.
Like, the boy's journey. That's one thing that I want to see in this show. Since we have young Bruce, is when you see that, when he gets to that cathartic feel of, this is what I'm going to do. And, they could do it really cool. Like, they could do it even on his parents' grave type thing, something where he makes that vow.
Yeah, and what scene I want to see probably at the end of this series is the scene from Mask of the Phantasm when he puts on the suit for the first time.
Oh, and Alfred shudders.
Yeah, Alfred sees him and is like,
Kelly,
Yeah.
have you got your copy of Mask of the Phantasm yet?
Not yet, but I haven't been to my video rental store yet.
Okay, Phil and I have an idea of watching during the Gotham breaks when there's no episodes, maybe like doing like a review discussion about a movie, and we want to do Mask of the Phantasm.
That would be awesome. I am totally down with that.
well, we should do an extra long episode and just tweet it, like turn the sound down and tweet it as we watch it or something.
That would be cool. Like, kind of like just have it down in the sound, like,
Yeah.
put your headphones or something through it so
We just do like
we can watch it and
commentary.
commentate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
That is my number 2 favorite Bat film that were in theaters.
That's awesome. And I haven't seen it. That's crazy.
Yes, you must see it.
I think I've seen most of the rest of them.
I've seen everything. I've seen the old serials. They are hard to watch.
Yes.
I mean, hard.
I grew up with campy Batman, so...
Okay, watching the serials makes the Adam West show look like it's worth millions of dollars.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Well, yeah, because what was those in the 40s?
Yes, I mean, you can see the string holding the rubber bat in the cave. There's no Batmobile, it's just them in a car.
Yeah.
He's got a desk in the Batcave. A desk. But I watch some of them because I am a Batman fan. And to thoroughly discuss, you have to experience every form of Batman.
So, fans, if you want to punish yourself, watch the Batman serials from the 40s.
If you're not a true fan,
My dad
Tyler's
probably
challenge.
watched those. My dad probably watched those as a kid.
You know what? As a kid, they probably were. I mean, you gotta respect them for what they were and when they were. So.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was telling me. I asked him finally. My dad just turned 80 last weekend.
Happy birthday, Dad.
And I
Happy
asked
birthday,
him.
Dad.
I said, did you read comics when you were a kid? He's like, oh yeah, comics were 10 cents. And you could trade them in. You could trade them in with your friends, you trade them. And if you had a missing cover, you got half value. And we'd trade. And I said, you wish you had some of those comics now? Oh yeah.
So I feel like I want to look at my grandpa like, why don't you have an Action Comics #1?
Oh, yeah. I know my dad, he was collecting Marvels back in the day. He probably had I think he had some early Avengers and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, he gave me a list of the stuff that he read. It was just unbelievable. All the stuff that he read. And,
I'll tell you, I'll give you a plug for, if you ever have the chance to read the book, The Boy Who Loved Batman by Michael Uslan. It's an amazing book about a guy who loves comics and loved Batman. But when he talks about all the comics that he bought and read as a kid, the collections that he still had, it brings a tear to the eye. But the scene that's so heartbreaking is when he talked about how his best friend had collected together and how his best friend's dad burned them. And he said when he told his best friend's mom, like, in more modern times, what the collection would have been worth, it was just pure shock and panic on her face.
Jeez.
His dad burned his books and said, "You've been cobblepotted."
I'm telling you, #cobblepotted. Every episode, we need to find the cobblepotted moment.
I'm just imagining this big cauldron, It's the cobblepot calling the kettle black.
Alright, well, do we have anything else to discuss this week?
No, I feel like we covered the major parts of the episode, and I mean, with each episode, I'm more interested. I think that the fact that the show has moved away from the comics in a lot of ways makes it more unpredictable.
Yeah.
So I think that can make it more interesting to watch. So with each episode, I'm interested to see where it goes.
I think I'm going to have to make a flowchart.
Of what? The gang?
Of all the gangs and the henchmen and how everybody figures in, because it kind of, we've had a lot of little, of side people and trying to figure out who's on whose crew and everything, so that, because it's going to come into play later. One of these guys is going to end up being somebody huge.
And I remember what I saw this week on social media. There was a article, I forget where it was from, but they were talking about bringing in new characters. They're talking about bringing in Leslie Tompkins.
Good.
Good. And Tyler, wait for it, Tommy Elliott.
Good. As long as he's Bruce's age.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one character. If they brought him as older, okay, a couple years maybe. But honestly, if we're gonna do young Selena Kyle, we have to do Tommy Elliott as Bruce's age.
Yeah, maybe Alfred brings him in, hoping that maybe someone his own age can get him to open up more. And
it's probably the easiest character to bring onto that show.
He needs somebody to help him be a kid again.
And they bring in Tommy. Perfect.
Yes, nice and normal Tommy.
Nothing wrong with the neighbor boy.
I don't know why he carries those bandages in his pocket.
His dad, what would be twisted, in the sense of the character, is how Tommy's parents were in a car wreck and Thomas Wayne, patched him up.
Yeah.
If the bandages he carries at first were the bandages from his parents, and it's kind of like an anger thing since he hates that Bruce's dad saved his parent or his dad.
Yeah. Well, that's
his mom. It was his mom. His dad died and his mom lived.
Yeah. Yeah, because didn't Tommy mess with the brakes on the car? He tried to kill them both. That would be a great episode if Gordon figured out that it was Tommy who killed his father and tried to kill his mother.
You hear us, writers of Gotham? Bring in Tommy Elliott. It's pretty much writing itself.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they said it's confirmed he's coming in. It's just a matter of when and how they're going to do it.
Oh, good. Hey, remember the mechanic? The hunchback mechanic Batman had? Let's bring him in.
Oh, Harold, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's he going to do? I mean...
Fix the car?
He can't drive yet.
I was going to say, yeah, Bruce can't drive yet.
Yeah, Alfred's his chauffeur. He's got plenty of cars. Let's see some of the Wayne cars.
Plus, he was a mute, so he's not going to have that many lines.
Just the present in the background for us comic fans who actually know who it is.
Oh, but before he worked for Batman, you know who he worked for, right?
Fish?
No, Cobblepot.
It's true.
He tricked him into making a machine that could control birds.
See, we got this writing covered.
Killer Birds work, Gotham writers. Just ask Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, and now, you can make them Wi-Fi enabled so they could tweet, too.
Oh.
Oh, bird jokes. We have fish jokes and bird jokes.
And pot jokes.
Ladies and gentlemen of our audience, please get a hold of us on social media and let us know the best jokes and the worst jokes of the night, please.
And they could be the same joke.
They could be.
We'll take a poll. We'll read the results next week.
Yes.
So, do we have anything else?
I have a feeling I'm going to get joke hate mail.
Just please nobody take Phil's theory of what I said true. I don't need people yelling at me.
What theory was that? Oh, yes, that's when Tyler said Fish Mooney will be the Joker, yes.
Yeah. Maybe the anti. And once again, I'm just going to give a plug. Hugo Strange, easily written into the show.
Yeah.
Court of Vows, still easily. Every episode, I'm waiting to see if there's any hint for the court. I didn't see any this week.
Yeah.
But you never know. You never know. They're out there.
Haley Circus, bring him in.
That's another one that'd be so easy to drop. Just, how about Bruce? Let's have an episode, I'm telling you. Like, I'll say this over and over. How cool would it be if Bruce got to meet John Grayson?
Yes.
And just the idea that he meets John Grayson and they connect, and then the idea that one day he will help raise John's son.
Exactly.
Like, that would be such a cool episode. Gotham Writers, you can find me at JTYPatrick on Twitter. You're more than welcome. We can chat. Any more ideas I'll have, we can just talk about it. So
You can send his royalty checks too.
just throw my name up there somewhere in an episode. Probably, you could have a dead victim on the side of the road that Gordon finds. Like, what's his name? J. Patrick. I mean, it would be awesome. Just saying.
Oh yeah. Who's that new lounge singer Fish is auditioning? Oh, that's Kelly.
Oh no! The future assassin, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of terrifying.
And I can be some cop Bullock slaps around.
It'd be like one of those scenes like in Lethal Weapon 3. Hey, rookie, what's your name? Phil. All right, you 21 today? Yeah, let's go. And then you get shot as soon as you walk out the door.
Oh, they're gonna redshirt me? Oh.
Yep, totally. Don't go down to the planet!
Okay.
We just made a Star Trek reference in a Gotham cast.
Hey, that's alright.
Or you could just be one of the henchmen that gets liquefied, and then has to be rehydrated by the Penguin.
Like Gatorade?
Yep, like in Batman 66 movie.
Oh, yeah.
Dehydrated.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I think that's it for tonight.
That's rather terrifying.
All right, everyone, go ahead and give your social media, and then I'll do what this shows.
Once again, you can find me at JTYPatrick on Twitter. I'm looking forward to hearing some comments this week, positive and negative. I enjoy a good conversation.
And you can find me on Twitter at SuperSquint. That's SuperSquint. The punnier, the better.
I'm Nightwing PDP on Twitter, and if you want to let us have it for our bad jokes tonight, our email is beforethebat@gmail.com. On Facebook, we're Before the Bat, the Gotham Podcast. Twitter is @BeforeTheBatPod. We're on Instagram, BeforeTheBat_FlashArrowPod, and Tumblr is BeforeTheBat-FlashArrowPod.
Hey, I think my wife's making some food. I think she's frying some fish.
Oh, your poor wife.
Alright, guys.
Alright, we're going to say it.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
The Gotham Podcast.
If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.